Hello, friends. Host Eric here. I, according to the people of Bolivia, am the host of Talking with Famous People. Except down there they say I'm the host of Talking with Personas Famosa. So, let's talk information desk. What I have here to the left of my head, or right, depending if it turns it around, I don't know, is a taxonomy of Talking with Famous People. A lot of people probably hit this channel and go, how do you even know what you're looking for? I don't even know what's available. That's what this informational video is designed to help you with a little bit, if you want help with that. So you see, I've broken Talking with Famous People into physical locations, meta, persons, medium, topic, and platforms. What do those things mean, though? Well, let's explore. Topics. These are topics that we talk about in the talking videos, either as a group or one solo or whatever. Styles of wrongness, quadrabbling, foreign policy, racism, self-development, education, thoughts, mysticism, media, philosophy, feelings, faith, addiction, argumentation, cognition, law enforcement, how-tos, popular culture, personality models, making friends, ethics and normative concerns, sensations, the color green, and much, much more. I'm interested in talking about just about anything. If you want to come and join Talking with Famous People, GoToMeeting Session, which I'm going to launch, as soon as I'm done with this video. This is the longest GoToMeeting launch ever. Anyway, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to launch GoToMeeting. If you want to join, bring whatever topic you want. If you know about something, if you're an expert about something, or even just like a casual expert, like just because you don't have a title or anything doesn't mean I don't think you're an expert. If you know everything there to know about Liberty Dimes or something, you know, like a certain kind of rare coin, or you know everything there to know about, I don't know, manicures or something, fucking let's talk about it. I'd love to ask you questions about shit like that. Okay, so these are just some topics. Let's talk about anything. Physical locations, what do I mean by that? Well, you'll see videos that are shot in different locations. The studio here is my garage. We're in the studio right now. This is the studio, which is just this, right? My garage. Okay. There. School, that's my debate school. I own a debate business. This is an informational video in general, so if you don't know anything about Talking with Famous People, I do own a debate school. It's called Autonomy Debate School, and I work, it doesn't have a physical building. I go to different places and say, alright, I'll tell you what, if you guys do all the admin stuff for me and let me use your rooms, you can take a cut. So that's how I do my school, so I don't have to quite as much hassles. But I do own a school, and I have a fairly large number of clients. I'm a debate coach, and the reason I'm able to do that is because I'm a pretty good debate coach. My kids win a lot, you know? Okay, so you'll see schools in San Marino and in Walnut and in Alhambra. There's 3 different locations you're going to see this upcoming year. This past year you saw a few different locations where Autonomy Debate was. And often I'll film my kids. I'll interview them, you know. So you'll see famous people that are middle schoolers or high schoolers in the mix here as well. Plenty of those. But the majority of people are obviously adults. Travel. Well, there's some videos from Utah when Zach and the team and I went to go to compete at nationals. There's Los Angeles area stuff. I like to drive around and do things occasionally, and when I do, I want to film it if I feel like it. There used to be a lot of videos that were filmed in the car because I used to film all in the car, but I haven't done that in a while, but I probably will again. Now, playlists that are location specific. You can look at the debate playlist. If you go to YouTube and you go to Talking with Famous People channel, and you go here, see this? You can search within Talking with Famous People, right there, and if you go like Utah, then you will see that we're all Utah stuff, right? So you can search videos there, and you can search for any of these. You can look in the playlist, search the playlist for one of these things. These words are in the name of the playlist, okay? If you care about location, I don't know why you would, but it's part of the taxonomy. Media of expression. So which medium is a video's primary medium? This is an interesting mixed media presentation here because I made these images instead of using a text document. I used image documents, and obviously I'm not actually filming with the camera. I just have the camera up here showing me, and I'm doing a screenshot screen capture. So, or screencast, that's what it's called. If you look here, to make sure that we have it even more multimedia, let's get some music in the mix.
Everybody hunts for stories that lock
Things down in place. Okay, so actually this is too distracting. I'm gonna turn it down. I'll turn it off. You'll ask me if I remember how it was. Alright, so media of expression. Audio, non-music. Well, I got a lot of audio stuff that basically there's no video part. It's just like some still images or just like a black picture or something, like a picture of blackness. Audio, non-music. See, I need an instrumental song if I'm going to do this. And the stranger trying to unsquarely. So music, this would be a solo multi-track written, or a solo acoustic written. This is an attempt at a multi-track mix. It didn't really come out that great. It came out kind of weird. I mean, I like weird, but this is probably too weird. Everybody hunts for stories. Okay, so for this, you had a chance to read that now while I was fucking around listening to that song. So there's music, different kind of musics you can find in the music playlists. This is the band, the live band that I'm the front man of, and I'm so happy with being the front man of a band. Because look, you may, if you're ever new to talking with famous people or something, I've noticed that people tend to position themselves as where they are, especially if you're trying to position yourself in a media sense, rather than where they've been before or where they're going. But for me, this whole experience of having YouTube subscribers and knowing that somebody's going to watch this video is amazing. It's the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my life. This is the advantage of being old, right? And failing for decades. Just a little bit of attention is immensely appreciated. Thank you. You can see all the different kinds of shit I do. There's text stuff. You go to, you want to read I got a novel. I got this novella that I'm reading out loud. And some of the stuff's on YouTube, some of it's not, but most of it I try to convert into a video format. Okay, so I do make still images, I make visual arts with I do draw pictures too, but I sometimes make them just in Photoshop or in GIMP. Some of the videos are comprised of just still images, just slideshows of that. Some still images are like old pictures from my old project, Pop Goes Lethal. That was like this basically, except I didn't have a platform except for the one that I built myself. So it was a ridiculous. There was no rhyme or reason to anything. I had like 17 different index pages and organizational schemes and stuff like that. So YouTube's a lot better because it helps to organize my shit. All right, I've been too long on this. Persons. Who is involved in talking to famous people anyway? Who are these fucking people? Well, they're hosts. You can be a host if you want. You just have to come on GoToMeeting and say, I want to be a host. I want to be the host. And I just go, okay, here you go. Be the host. That's it. It's that hard. I know. But don't you want to say, I don't fucking care, dude. Do what you want. I want to see you have fun. If you think it sounds fun, I totally want to play with you. Right? I am somebody who is an old man who spent too many years as a drunk before he quit drinking. I wasted a lot of years. I want to have fun. I want to have good fun, creative fun, interesting fun. I want to have interesting conversations. I want to make interesting media. I want to make interesting media with other people. Famous people. That's anybody who's ever been in a GoToMeeting room and said at least a couple of words in the chat. You are officially a famous person. If you've not done that, you're not famous. I don't care if you're George fucking Clooney. You might be a celebrity, but you're not a famous person until you're in GoToMeeting with Talking with Famous People crew. Coaches. For my debate school business, Autonomy Debate, I have a couple of coaches who are in my employ. They're great people. I couldn't do anything without them, really. I mean, I'd be lost without them. I got Abraham. He's my right-hand man. Kunkel, who's my other right-hand man. I got Zachary. Host Zachary has worked in debate capacity with me as well, which has been wonderful. He was really good at debate casework. And I additionally have Felix and Justin. I actually have got a fair number of people that I work with some of the time. I mean, it's not like they're full-time employees or anything. Okay, so those are coaches. Bandmates. The Talking with Famous People band, whom you'll see also in these 2,000 so videos. My best friend Corey, and if you're super watched a lot of videos, then you know a lot of backstory. But there was some, it's one of the areas in which my self-development is helping me to repair a damaged relationship and stuff. So the band, Talking with Famous People band, it plays mostly my songs, some of Corey's songs. I want to get Corey's songs more involved too, and I encourage you to check it out. I'm just giddy because Corey's an insanely good bassist, Nick's an insanely good drummer, Dave's become a really good guitarist. I was impressed by how good he is. I don't have to play an instrument because I'm the worst musician of the whole group, right? I'm a pretty good singer. I'm pretty clean with my singing. With my musicianship and other shit, I'm kind of sloppy. So, and we got Anthony, who's Nick's older brother, who's a classically trained piano player. He has amazing chops and everything. I gotta get him to exercise good aesthetic discretion sometimes, but he's perfect. I just gotta meow him a little bit, All right, so who else are you gonna meet? Young friends, my debaters, sometimes former debaters. My very first crew of debaters now entering their second year of college. So that's great because I got a lot of people in that demographic are willing to at least consider interacting with me in this media project that I'm doing, and I appreciate that immensely. I value the young for their willingness to be creative and try new ideas, stuff like that, as far as producing work stuff goes. It's like, and I do hang out with young people one-on-one plenty. But what I don't want to do, let's just make this clear. The idea of going to a party where there's a bunch of 20-somethings sounds absolutely unbearable to me. It's not because I don't like the age group, not because anything, except I don't like to go to parties. And if I were to go to a party, the only reason I want to go there is because it's full of people I already know. And so, and I also am aware that when people are, let's say 16 through 25, they're at their most social stage in life, and they treat socializing a little bit differently than older people do. And it's not, I love to socialize too, but I think the expectations for what socializing is going to do in a live capacity in that regard are different for younger people than for older people, and they're different for other types than for ENTPs as well. Okay, so time people. Well, time people are people like Parker Tart Lemon Squeeze and the International Delight, Frances, who has her business, her limited liability corporation called Potweezers, which is a potato brow themed boutique. She's partnered with Brauwux, the German conglomerate brow company. These are all time people because, of course, they're characters. I've got a novel called Gospel of the Pantheon that's got my gods in it. So I would love to be able to reference them for analytical purposes. Because in Tripocles, I find myself wanting to reference Tripocles all the time. Tripocles is a god who's kind of like the devil, but he doesn't mean ill. He doesn't wish ill particularly. He just isn't. He's like almost entirely not empathetic, and he favors the path is not referred to in the book by others, not by him, but the path of stumbles and confusion, which is he's all about getting loaded, doing whatever you feel like. He's, do as thou wilt, that shall be the whole of the law. At the same time, he's subject to the constraints of being one of a pantheon of gods rather than the devil. And there is another god that's actually way more like awful than him, named Alienator, and that god manifests as basically the god of static mortal truths. So whereas in Tripocles is the devil because he's always blowing everything up, Alienator is the real devil because he's always locking people down. So anyway, those are time people. I'd like to be able to tell you about it more, but people are, you got to be careful with that shit 'cause people don't. I mean, now maybe I don't know. Here's the thing. I have had drilled into me in no uncertain terms for decades that the one thing that I may not ever do is presume that anybody's interested in anything I have to say. I get it. I can't presume that. I know. It's right that I can't presume that. And I shouldn't presume that. And I have to exercise a great deal of caution regarding aesthetic decisions that might display that presumption. And yet, I feel like not in the sense of being so much better than the other people. Not in that analogous relationship. I mean, not in that analog in what would be a perceived analogy, but rather in the sense of having to pull back on the reins all the time. If you've seen the movie The Impossibles or something like that, I think it's called, when it's like a superhero family and the kids run super fast and he can't be himself, so he participates in track, but he has to slow down. Now the thing is, I'm participating in a non-zero-sum activity here. But by me putting out a bunch of my ideas or whatever I want to talk about and stuff like that, it's not saying I am presuming that my ideas are better or are a better choice for somebody or a worse choice media-wise. I'm not presuming that my media is better simply by putting it out there. I'm presuming, though, that somebody might be interested in watching it. The nice thing about YouTube is I'm allowed to offer things to people without having to suggest it to them myself. And that's the most liberating experience I've ever had in my life. Anyway, let's move forward. Hey, stop your barking, dogs. Did I put non-human people? The dogs. Thank you. They just barked to remind me. The dogs and the cat. Cat's name is Kitty, or Dixie, is sometimes Delilah calls her. I always just call her Kitty. Compton here, she's ESTP dog. She's a handful. She's a murderer, a several times repeat murderer. She killed guinea pigs on 3 separate occasions, and the last time she murdered. She doomed the whole family except for the male, because she killed the mother when the babies were very small, and I was very angry at her. I hit her with a stick. It's the first time I ever ever hit any of my animals with anything other than my finger flicking them. But she deserved it. It was her third murder. I mean, it wasn't even her third murder. It was like her sixth murder. It was her third time going on a killing spree. Now, some of you out there might think, Eric, she's a dog. She's not subject to normative claims. I disagree. She is subject to normative claims. She knows she was doing something evil. Platforms. Where can you get even more of this brilliant rambling? Well, you already presumably know where the YouTube channel is. I'd suggest subscribing to it. Not so much because I think you're going to benefit from subscribing to it, but rather because I think I'm going to benefit from you subscribing to it. Because if I could just get to 1,000 subscribers, then I'll find out. And I'll get to know either horrible disappointment or I guess it wouldn't be horrible disappointment. That's not correct at all. It would be, I get to experience I get to experience that, or I get to experience it totally worked. Oh my fucking god! Because you see, when I get to 1,000, my goal is obviously not to reach 1,000 and then just be at 1,000 forever. My hope is that there's a mathematical, long tail, law of large numbers, plus Google behavior modifying benchmark attainment. I'm hoping the conjunction of those two things make it such that once I reach 1,000, it's only going to take me a month to reach 50,000. That's what I hope. Yeah, I know that's pretty fucking ambitious. That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy hope to have. But here's the thing. I almost have 2,000 videos up. All right, so you can go to the webpage. It's in the process of being put together. All this shit's in the process of being put together. I'm fucking totally broke right now, so I can't even exert any real resources or anything. I'm just living until summer's over on just, living money. And, I'm also waiting on a big check, but that got delayed. So basically I have to wait till I start working again before I can invest in shit, or I don't want to borrow money to make investments. Anyway, that's the thing. There's spending money on shit you just kind of want, like fast food and cigarettes and stuff. And then there's spending money in good, like meaningful ways that have long-term potential to pay off. And that always seems to, you never seem to have the money for that, right? We always seem to have the money for these, but you don't have the money for that. Anyway, but I will soon enough. And when I do have the money to invest in that, that's where all my money goes. It just gets invested into people and projects and shit like that. So that's why I'm periodically I'm never gonna be Chad. I'm always gonna go through Burke periods probably, because who knows how it's gonna be in a year. I'm not gonna plan for. Oh, but what about next August? What about next August? Okay, so you're getting off on some tangents here. Quadravel.com, you should totally go there. It's the greatest website in history. RiceAsrest.com. You can't see that very well, can you? RiceAsrest.com. It's an anagram of my name, Eric Strauss. Rice Asrest. RiceAssrust.com. And it's my blog. That's the oldest platform I have. I've been maintaining that blog since 2005. I mean, years would go by in some stretches where I didn't put anything. And then there'd be a year or so maybe where I fucking threw up all sorts of stuff. And then there'd be another couple of years where I didn't do anything. There was a time period when I did a whole bunch of college football sports writing stuff, like about college, all about college football and Pac-12 and stuff like that. And I actually reverted those posts to draft because they're just so boring and pointless. It's weird. I don't know. I was into it at the time, I guess. AutonomyDebate.com. You can go check out my business, my debate school. We've got a Facebook page for Talking to Finance People. We've got a Facebook page for AutonomyDebate.com also. And Miedlena Records, MIEDLENA RECORDS.com. That's a record label my friend Matt has, and he's re-released my first album, Mr. Strauss Learns to Rock, which is a pretty good album, I guess. It is pretty good, but it's a little spotty. There's some stuff on there that I wouldn't do anymore, and there's a couple songs I would like to sort of, well, I wouldn't want to cut them now in retrospect. It's a finished thing. It's a archival arc of sorts, but, well, I mean, I was just younger and I wasn't quite as developed in my aesthetic decision making. However, that doesn't mean that any given track on that album is not fucking great. There's a couple tracks on that album that are great, and I love them. It's just, I am so... That's where... That's too complicated. I'm not going to get into that. Oh, I put it in a different way so you can see it better. Alright, so here's the top again. Topics, media, persons. Medium I put to make it clearer, but meta, physical locations, platforms. Did we do meta yet? Oh, I didn't make the meta one yet. That's why. Oh, well, that's just all about crazy nonsense. You know, it's all about like, well, what's our mission statement, and what am I achieving to do, and how does this link in with my identity build, and all these other words that I have in my head to explain just living and doing shit. Please join GoToMeeting. I would love to chat with you. If you watch this whole thing and remember that it was a GoToMeeting announcement, I'm shocked I did. It's 27 minutes. Wow. Well, I'm gonna go on meeting now, so hope you'll go to meeting too. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.